Goa was the first state batch was. Yes. So Goa, in fact, in 17 was the first state to start. 2019 parliament. Yes, parliament elections also, but 17 was the first state in entire India.
नॅशनल वोटर्स डे, राष्ट्रीय मतदाता दिवस. ह्या सुवाळ्याचे मुखेल सोयरे गोंय राज्याचे गव्हर्नर श्री PS श्रीधरन पिल्ले हांगा ह्या सभाघरांत पावता अशें म्हण कळीत जाता. रवींद्र भवनात ते पावल्यात. आयचो दीस हो हक्काचो, आयचो दीस हो मतदानाचो, आयचो दीस राष्ट्रीय मतदाता दिवस म्हणून मनोवपाचो. Office of Collector and District Election Officer, South Goa District Celebration 12th National Voters Day on 25th January 2022. Program is Electoral Literacy for Stronger Democracy. सगळ्यांकडे मागता कोविडाचे नेम पाळून आमी ह्या सभाघरांत बसून घेवया. कोविडाचे नेम पाळटा आसतना आमी मास्क घालुया, अंतर दवरुया. We welcome Shri PS Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa, Guest of Honor Shri Puneet Goyalji, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, Special invitee of today's function, Shri W.V. Ramanamurthy, IAS retired State Election Commissioner of Goa, and all the dignitaries and all the invitees for today's ceremony. I request one and everyone to be seated in the auditorium. कोविडाचे परतून एकदां तुमकां सगळ्यांक कळवणी आनी सुचोवणी. कोविडाचे नेम पाळून आमी ह्या सभाघरांत बसून घेवया. Good morning. Chief Electoral Officer, Goa, in association with the District Election Officer, South Goa, welcome all the invitees for the 12th National Voters Day state level function. We feel honored to announce and to welcome Chief Guest of today's ceremony, Shri PS Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa, Guest of Honor, Shri Puneet Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, Special invitee of today's function, Shri W.V. Ramanamurthy, IAS retired State Election Commissioner, Goa. Our voters should be empowered, vigilant, safe and informed. We are happy to announce the theme of 12th National Voters Day, that is, making elections inclusive, accessible and participative. Before to begin, we request each and everyone to stand for the national anthem.
जन मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा, उच्छल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव तव शुभ आशीष मागे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
भारत माता की
जय,
भारत माता की
जय,
भारत माता की
जय।
धन्यवाद. 25 जानेवारी 2011 दीस इलेक्शन कमिशन ऑफ इंडिया राष्ट्रीय मतदाता दिवस अशी तांणी ह्या दिसाची स्थापणूक केली. आयचो दीस महत्वाचो राष्ट्रीय मतदाता दिवस. दर एकल्याक मतदाना विशीं जागृताय महत्वाची. भयाविणे आनी दबावाविणे मतदान करप गरजेचें. मतदाना दिसा वेंचणुके दिसा आमी घरांतल्यान भायर सरून कसल्याच दबावा खाला वा कसल्याच भया शिवाय आमचें मतदान करप तितलेंच गरजेचें. पळोवया आनी आयकुया हो आसा संदेश चीफ इलेक्शन कमिशनर हांचो.
I am delighted to convey my compliments and warm wishes to all the voters of India on the occasion of 12th National Voters' Day. This day pays a glowing tribute to each and every voter of the country and highlights the immense value of everyone's vote. In many parts of the world, the right to vote was achieved after a long struggle. In India, the right to vote was granted to all adult citizens at the same time when India won her freedom. This right is precious. You must exercise it and exercise it judiciously. Your presence at the polling stations is a source of inspiration. Democracy thrives and flourishes when voters queue up on election day, cheerfully waving their epic cards, patiently waiting for their turn to vote. India's election system is one of the best in the world, and you, dear voters, are its very heart and soul. This year's NVD is even more special as it marks 70 years of Indian elections and a celebration of 75th year of India's independence. 7 decades ago, the first general election was conducted in the country. With 17.3 crore voters, the first election was truly an act of faith with few parallels in the history of humankind. Since then, the Election Commission of India has firmly marched on the path of democracy, and together with voters, we have endeavored to deliver elections that are not only free and fair, but also inclusive, accessible, participative, and festive. With these sentiments, the theme for NVD 2022 is making our elections inclusive, accessible, and participative. Conducting elections in a country as large and as diverse as ours is always a challenging task. As on date, we have over 95.14 crore voters across the country, out of which 49.04 crore are male voters and 46.09 crores are female voters. Amongst these registered voters, there are 1.92 crore senior citizens aged 80 plus, 81.39 lakh persons with disabilities, 19.24 lakh service voters, and 1.37 crore newly registered voters. However difficult the situations might be, the voters have always reposed faith in the institution of Election Commission and enthusiastically participated in every election. I am happy to share with you some historic electoral reforms that have been affected this year. On the recommendation of Election Commission of India, few crucial amendments have been enacted to the Representation of the People Act. The first of these amendments facilitates registration for all our young voters 4 times in the year. Earlier, young voters could be enrolled in the voter list only once, that is on 1st January of the year. Now, with this amendment, any citizen attaining the age of 18 years can be registered on any of these 4 dates, that is on 1st January, 1st April, 1st July and 1st October of a year and can exercise voting rights. Next is linking of voter identity card with Aadhaar, which would help in weeding out duplicate entries in the electoral roll and further purify the poll. For the past 2 years, the impact of COVID-19 made the conduct of elections extremely challenging. We had to conduct elections in a manner that protects both the voters and the vote. We embarked on this arduous journey with the support and confidence of India's 95 crore voters. Elections to 6 states assembly, besides many by-elections, were conducted in this period with full health and safety measures in place. Once again, the determined Indian voter, with unflinching faith in the democracy, defied naysayers and skeptics and came out in ever large numbers to vote in all elections held during the pandemic. This Voters' Day, we salute each and every one of you. The Commission interacted with global election community on the protocols for conducting elections during pandemic. India is the chair of Association of World Election Bodies, which has members from 108 countries. Many webinars and international virtual election visitors program were organized in order to share our best practices and initiative with the world. More than 100 capacity building programs have been organized so far by Election Commission of India for nearly 2,000 international participants, especially from the new and emerging democracies of the world. We truly believe that it is the equal participation of all categories of voters that makes elections meaningful. ECI provides special facilitation for women, persons with disabilities, and senior citizens for a comfortable and pleasant voting experience. The Commission has brought polling stations to the doorstep of voters, and the option of postal ballot facility has been extended to all those voters who are senior citizens, aged 80 plus, persons with disability, and those who are COVID affected. The Commission has leveraged technology to enhance transparency and make election services more voter friendly and easily accessible with apps like Voter Helpline. Another one is C-Vigil, which ensure swift action in case of violation of Model Code of Conduct. The latest one is Know Your Candidate app, which provides voters with information about candidates, including the criminal antecedents, to enable voters to make an informed choice. Recently, general elections for legislative assemblies of Goa, Manipur, Punjab, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh were announced. Elections are being conducted in 690 assembly constituencies, reaching out to 18.34 crore voters at more than 2.15 lakh polling stations. We are also looking forward to welcoming 25 lakh new voters in these states who will cast their votes for the first time. Keeping the ever-dynamic situation in view, the Commission has issued stringent guidelines to be followed by all political parties and candidates. We also have emphasized upon increasing the pace of vaccination in the poll-bound states. All arrangements will be made to ensure that this election is absolutely COVID safe. I take this opportunity to welcome and call upon the voters of 5 states where elections are underway and urge them to participate in these elections as enthusiastically as they have always done. The voters are the true heroes and icons for the Election Commission of India. Your presence at the polling stations strengthens democracy and makes the country proud. I again extend my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to every citizen of the country on the occasion of National Voters' Day. Jai Hind.
हो आशिल्लो संदेश मुख्य चीफ इलेक्शन कमिशनर हांचो जे जे बदल जाल्ले आसा मतदानात जे बदल जाल्ले आसा मतदाना दिसा जे आमकां बदल पळोवपाक मेळटले ताचो एक आप्रोस आमी आतांच आयकलो एक संदेशांतल्यान. Esteemed dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, the main purpose of the NVD celebration is to encourage, facilitate and maximize enrollment, especially for the new voters. Dedicated to the voters of the country, The day is utilized to spread awareness among voters and for promoting informed participation in the electoral process. Here we move to launching of video of CEO on voting process, followed by launching of audio of district icon. May I request Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, to launch the video by pressing the button of the remote.
नमस्कार, हांव मुकेश घाटवाळ. येता ती 14 फेब्रुवारी इलेक्शनाचो दीस. सगळ्यांनी मुद्दम भायर सरून कोविडाचे नेम पाळून इलेक्शनाक वोटिंग करचें. इलेक्शन कमिशनान ह्या वर्साय इलेक्शन प्रक्रिया जी आसा ती खूब सोपी केल्ली आसा. तर पळोवया कितली सोपी आसा पळय.
वेंचणूक केंद्रार वतना तुम्ही सरकार मान्य वळखपत्रां घेऊन वचपाक जाय. वेंचणूक कोविड मुक्त जातली हाची लेगीत जतनाय वेंचणूक आयोग घेता. कोविड योग्य व्यवहार मतदान केंद्राचेर जावचो म्हूण कुडीचें तापमान तपासप, हात नितळ दवरपा खातीर सॅनिटायझर वापरप, मास्क वापरप बंधनकारक, शारिरीक अंतर राखप सारखे नेम कडकसाणेन पाळप गरजेचें आसतलें. मतदार वेंचणूक केंद्रात वचून मतदान यंत्र म्हळ्यारच इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशिनाचेर ताका जाय आशिल्ल्या उमेदवाराच्या मुखावेले बटन दाबतलो तेन्ना एक तांबडी लायट पेट्टली. आसा काय ना मतदानाची सोपी प्रक्रिया. वेंचणुकेच्या दिसा मतदान करप ही एक सोपी प्रक्रिया आसा हे तुम्ही आत्ताच पळयलां. तेन्ना भायर सरात, मतदान करात आणि आमच्या देशाची लोकशाय घटमूट करात.
This video is prepared by CEO Goa on safe voting during COVID scenario so that no voter is deprived of his or her right to vote. Again, I request Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, to launch the audio by pressing the button of the remote.
आता सगली मना पेटोया, मतदान उत्सव झेतान नेटोया. तर नाट्यां घेऊन फुडे सरया, नव्या पर्वाचो संकल्प धरिया. सगळ्यांनी मेळून आम्ही मतदान करूया. सगळ्यांनी मिळून आम्ही मतदान करूया. सगळ्यांनी मिळून आम्ही मतदान करूया. सगळ्यांनी मिळून आम्ही मतदान करूया.
सब मिलकर मतदान करेंगे. The song is based on, again, voting awareness conceptualized by John Aguiar and composed by Mukesh Ghatwal. दर मनशाक हक्क आसा मतदानाचो. मतदान करता आसतनाच कसलेच मनान भय आसूंक जायना, कसलोच दबाव आसपाक जायना. मत विकतें घेवप वा मत विकतें दिवप हेंय बीन एक गुन्यांवकारीच आसा. आमी सी-विजील हो एक ॲपाची एक माहिती आमी चीफ इलेक्शन कमिशनरांच्या संदेशांतल्यान आयकली. सी-विजील is an innovative mobile application for citizens to report model code of conduct and expenditure violations during the election. सी-विजील stands for Vigilant Citizen and emphasizes the proactive and responsible role citizens can play in the conduct of free and fair election. Here our team present before you a skit conceptualized and directed by Praveen J. Gawas, Joint Mamledar, Salsaid. I request the team to present a skit.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Action.
अरे राजन तू मुस्का मारता
आनी कितें करपाचें तर
अरे आज व्हॅलेंटायन डे कळ्ळें अशें लॉंग ड्रायव्हर या आमी
व्हॅलेंटायन
हा.
बेरेला मरे
कित्याक?
आयज इलेक्शन वोटींग डे
अरे इलेक्शन आख्खो दीस आसा सकाळी 9 मेस जातले पळय ते 7 सोंपतले कळ्ळें
अरे बाबा म्हाका मम्माक घेवन वोटिंगाक वचपा जाय हांव येना तूं चल खंय जाय थंय
मम्मा घेवन हे पळय आवय कितले पयशे मरे खंयचे रे ते तुका सगळें मागीर सांगता हांव पयलीं आमी या लॉंग ड्रायव्हर यो
खंय वतात अशें चलत खंय वतात
अगो आज व्हॅलेंटायन डे न्हू म्हणून अशें लॉंग ट्रिपार वता आमी
नेट्टान वता म्हाका दिसता तुमी मत मारपा वता मत मारले तर तुमी
हे मागीर मारतले
केन्ना मागीर
आगो मागीर आमी सांजचे मारतलो गो आतां थंय लायनी आसता गो
10 मिनटाचें काम मार आनी यो मरे
सांजचे गो
पूण आत्तां कित्याक मारपाक वचना तुमी
आतां आमी
कित्याक
मातशें
वचपाक जाय?
व्हॅलेंटायन डे लावन अशें लॉंग ट्रिपार वता
पळय आं कित्याक म्हणून
पळय
भयण तुजें मत विकलें काय कितें रे तुवें तुका पयलीं सांगता हे कोणाले घेतल्यात ते व्हरून परत दी
हे ना 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 ना
आनी?
आज सुटी आसा न्हू गो व्हॅलेंटायन डे म्हणून ये घेवन म्हणून
ते
या
म्हाका कित्याक दाखयलें पळय मत विकप ना तुकाय सांगता हाकाय सांगता आनी तुमकांय सांगता आपलें मत विकप ना आमचें एक मत म्हळ्यार आमचो देश घट जाता ताका लागून कोणेच आपलें मत विकप ना आनी सामकें जापसालदारकेन वागपाक जाय आतां लक्षान दवर आनी
बरोबर.
हें दी मातशें आनी आतां मत मारून येयात मरे
बरोबर आमी मातशें आतां थंय
शामा हेजे सोपान चल या या
पळय अशें आनी तुमचें मत मारपाचें
A few hours later.
अरे कितें कोण पडली मार स्टार्ट
अरे
पेट्रोल
पेट्रोल घातलेलें सकाळी 2 लिटर घातलेलें
सांगलेलें म्हाका मतदानाक वचपा जाय म्हणून केलें तुवें केलो घात केलो म्हाजो
मेकॅनिकाक घेवन येता राव राव राव
बेगीन यो बाबा मेकॅनिक देवा म्हाज्या केलें हेणें
अर्धे वर उरला मतदान करपाक मतदान केला मरे अरे अर्धेच वर उरला टाइम पिड्यार करू नाका अरे अर्धे वर उरला बेगीन अरे बेगीन चल अर्धे वर उरला
5 वर्सांनी हांवें मतदान करपाचें शी ह्या महेंद्रान घात केलो म्हाजो शी आतां हांव केन्ना मतदान करतलो शी
राजू अरे तू घामेला मरे
आगे मम्मा महेंद्रान घात केलो म्हाजो महेंद्रान घात केलो म्हाका मतदान
पता उठ रे
आगे स्वप्न जालो मगे हांव कसलो भिलो कसलें भयानक स्वप्न गे म्हाका दिसलें म्हाजें मतदान चुकलें म्हणून तरी बरें टायमार जागो जालो तुमी जागे जायात हा जी चूक हांवें स्वप्नान केल्या ती तुमी प्रत्यक्षान करूं नाकात इलेक्शना दिसा बेगीन वचात आनी मतदान करात बाकीची तुमची कामां मागीर करात पूण पयलीं वचून मतदान करात मम्मा चल या गे आमी बेगीन वचून मतदान करूया
घेतला मरे बरी गरम गरम चा पिऊया
कितलो टायम रे बायलां न्हेसपा म्हूण खंय पावले काय आतां खंय तो यो मुगो बेगीन कितलो टायम वोटिंगाक वचपा जाय शी
पप्पा केन्ना वचपाचें हांव वोट करपाक
या गो, या
म्हाजो
गो.
फर्स्ट वोटींग मरे म्हाका सेल्फी काडून स्टेटस दवरपाक जाय
बरें बरें
म्हाज्या फ्रेंडाक कळपाक नाका हांव वोट करून आयला म्हणून
आगो हय गो बाय मातशें थंड राव पूण हांव कितें करूं इबय तुगे मम्मी भितर ओदोशाक कितें घासपा बसलें तीच कळना भायरूच सांगना मुगो ती आगो यो मुगो बेगीन टायम जालो आमकां शी
अरे अरे किती झालं तुमचे कितली कामां पडल्या घरान जाणा गिळपाचे कोण करतलो तुमकां रांदपाचे बी उरला रे अजुनी
तुजें फकत गिळपाचें गिळून गिळून केदें जालें तें पळय तुका
ए मगे घे गिळपाचेर वचनाका बरी जावपा ना झिरो फिगर तो म्हजो
हय झिरो फिगर दिसता सारकोच झिरो आगो तुका पळय आनी आमकां पळय आसूं आसूं सोड तुजी भानगड नाका हें पळय तुका जेवपा जाय न्ही जाय जाल्यार आयज भायरूच जेवया हॉटेलान पूण पयलीं वचोन मत मारया मतदान आयज चड इम्पॉर्टंट आयच्या दिसा चल या बेगीन कोण रे तूं कितें जालें हय
सांगता फक्त मरे म्हाज्याच कॅन्डिडेटाक वोटींग करपाचें कळ्ळें न्ही म्हाज्याच कॅन्डिडेटाक वोटींग करपाचें
कित्याक
आनी हे घे दवर तुका
हें कितें
पयशे दे
हे तुजे पयशे तुका दवर आमकां नाका तू कितें आमचें मत विकतें घेवपा येयला रे हय आमी आमचें मत विकूना कळ्ळें मरे आनी हें सांगता तू आमकां सांगनाका कोणा वोटींग करपाचें तें आमकां सारकें खबर आसा तू लाग तुजे वाटेन बरें येता एक एकले चल या
वहिनी राव 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 खंय वता मत मारपाक हय बरी आसा मगे तुजे खातीर पळय लेटेस्ट डिझायनर साडी हाडल्या हांवें कशी आसा पळय काय बरी पूण मत मारतना आमचो कॅन्डिडेट लक्षांत दवर म्हाका नाका गो तुजी ही साडी म्हजी मत हांव विकचें ना शी
सारकें तुजें चल या एक एकले येता रे बाबा
अरे सारखी इम्पोर्टेड आणि मरे माझ्या पाठरावाक मत घाल
तुजी इम्पोर्टेड बाटली न्ही तुजे कडेन दवर फाल सकाळी मागीर पिकासांवां तुका आनी तुजी पात्रांवां जाय पडटली ती
ओय कितें चड उलयता बरें तूं हा हे पळय ही तुमची दोन्ही मतां न्हू आमच्या मनशाक पडपा जाय ना जाल्यार ते कितें तें न्हू मागीर दाखयता चड उलयता मग तूं
पप्पा हें कितें जालां तुमचें
बाय तू बेश्टें भिनाका हें पळय कितें आसा न्ही तें सगळें तुका हांव मागीर सांगता घरा कडेन पावतकीर पूण पयलीं आमी या आनी मत मारया कळ्ळें मुगो आनी हें पळय तूं कोणा मत मारता न्ही तें मात कोणा सांगनाका आं
पप्पा तुकाय बी सांगप ना
ना बाय म्हाकाय सांगनाका तुजें मतदान पळय तूं कोणाक करता न्ही तें फक्त गुपीत दवर कळ्ळें मुगो चल या आमी
पूण रे साडी मात बरी आसली रे
तूं मातशी वळखी ना पळया राव आं फोन येता कोणालो तो पळयता हॅलो
हॅलो भैया
आं सांग
अरे तू वोट करून आयलो
आगो ना गो
हांव आयलें मरे वोट करून
आं केलें बरें केलें आं आगो कितें सांगू तुका हांव वोटींग करपाकूच म्हण भायर सरिल्लो पयल्या रस्त्यार एक आडमेळी येता मग सारक्यो
कितें जालें
कितें जालें कितें आगो वोटींग करपा म्हूण भायर सरिल्लो पयलीं कोण तरी पयशे घेवन येयलो मागीर एकली बायल साडयो वांटपा लागली मागीर एकटो कोण तरी सोऱ्या बाटली घेवन येयलो आनी आतां जाल्यार कोण तरी म्हाका धमकी दिवपा लागलो मुगो फकत काय ना आपल्याच कॅन्डिडेटा वोट मार म्हणटा सगळे शी
हे मरे इलेक्शन टायमार आसतात मरे असलें
हय ग चड जालें हेंचें पूण हेंचें मुगो कितें तरी करचें पडटलें पूण कितें करपाचें तेंच कळना
हॅलो भैया
आं सांग आयकता उलय
ते सी विजील ऍप आसा पळय
हय.
ते तुज्या मोबायलार डावनलोड करून घे
आनी
हे जे कितें चल्ला पळय ताजे फोटोज किंवा व्हिडिओज ताजेर अपलोड कर आनी मागीर पुलीस येवन ताजेर एक्शन घेतले
बरें ओके आतांच करता बरें थँक्यू
Hello. Team Alpha, complaint received. Please act immediately.
शी हे बेस्ट मुगो अगो सी विजील ऍप डावनलोड करपाचो आनी तुमच्या वाठारांत अशें कितें जाता जाल्यार फोटो नाल्यार व्हिडिओ अपलोड करपाचो म्हणटकी फ्लायिंग स्क्वॉड येवन रोखडीच एरिया क्लियर करता तो तुमकांय सांगता तुमी तुमच्या मोबायलाचेर सी विजील ऍप डावनलोड करात आनी तुमच्या वाठाराक नाल्यार एरियेक अशें कितें जाता जाल्यार रोखडो तेजो व्हिडिओ नाल्यार फोटो काडून अपलोड करात म्हणटकीर रोखडीच फ्लायिंग स्क्वॉड येवन ती एरिया क्लियर करतली आनी तुमचें मतदान फ्री आनी फेअर जातलें
That was the vibrant performance by our team, Praveen J. Gawas and group. We acknowledge special sound effects by Pushkar Prabhudesai from GEL and Anand Bandodkar BLO of Kortalim Assembly constituency. The role played by South Goa district icon Bindiya Vastanaik, Samiksha Bhobe and BLOs and staff of 31 Margaon Assembly constituency. We also thank Shekhar, Sunil and Viraj from Ravindra Bhavan for handling stage and light. आम्ही दुसरो एक प्रयोग पळोवया आनी एक स्कीट आमची टीम तुमच्या मुखार घेवन येतात. वी ऑल मस्ट वोट fearlessly without failing or without falling prey to anyone and any kind of lure. This message will be given to us by our team performer. I request team to perform the next.
आलोन दोलोन पोपाय पडली इलेसांवा डिक्लेअर जाली उमेदवारां लायन लागली बेडा मुजगां वाजोंक लागली एक आनी दोन न्हय 5-5, 7-7 जाण पडल्या हे पावटी हदोड घालपाय आमगे कित्याक पडला आमगे ताडो ओलो कोत्ता आमगे हातीर कोण चाराणे उडयता तो आमगे मनीस
अंकल 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 कायतानान आंटीक 2 साडयो धाडले
राव रे आंटी साडयो आणि अंकल तूच मानू अंकल आवडणार रे अंकल आवडना
अंकल 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 तेका लागून तू खेका भितर रे हे बघ सकारामान तुका 3 मताचे 6,000 रुपये धाडल्या आणि हो वोचर 2,000 रुपयाचो त्या बाबल्याच्या दुकानात वचपाचे आणि तुका जाय ता घेवपाचा पूण मत सकारामाकच
आत्ता काय झाले यो 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 भाई यो 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 सारखे वेडार पावले तू यो 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 हे पळय सकारामान आमगे 3 मतां 6,000 रुपया धाडले आणि वावचेर धाडला हे पळय आता तुगे 2,000 रुपया तू घे आणि म्हयनोभर स्कुटरी पेट्रोला पैसे जाय म्हणून बबाड करपा ना
मत घालपाक पैसे
अगं आम्ही घेनाय सगळे लोक घेता आणि एका 2 सांज चोलन आयला जाण तू
ते दिताय आणि तुम्ही घेताय
ओय
आणि कितें रे हे आता शासनाचेच बंद जावंक जाय मत घालप हो आमचो अधिकार तो घालूंक नाका आमकां कोणाचेच दुडवाचो आधार हे घे तू तू रे कित्याक हांगा उबो हे घे ते लाग चलो डॅडी आम्ही एकवटान भायर सरोया आणि कोणाचे कांयच घेनासतना
बऱ्या मनशाक वेचून काडया
होय
This skit was written and directed by Shri Pradeep Naik. That was the lovely presentation by all our artists, Shri Pradeep Naik, Samiksha Desai, John Aguiar and Kevin DeMello. Here we go for the last performance. The skit is written on Voter Awareness Program. The skit is written on Voter Awareness Performance. A vote is the freedom of choice or opinion that is given to every human to exercise in an election or meeting. Voting is the method of making the collective decision or expressing an opinion, usually on election campaign. Here I invite our Kalakar group to perform.
आज सुटी आज बिंदास बसून पिक्चर पळयतालो टीव्हीचेर
सकाळ सकाळी लागलाय दोडा बघताय ओटिंगवाला गवाची माझी बघताय ओटिंगवाला आज 14 फेब्रुवारी म्हणून
व्हॅलेंटाईन डे
एका आणि मात्र्याक व्हॅलेंटाईन डे उगा दुसरा ना
हय
आज 14 फेब्रुवारी वोटिंगाचो दीस
घे ताकाच लागून आयज सुटी दिल्ली वोटिंगाच्या दिसारखे
कितले दीस जाले चेडवाची खबरूच घेवंक ना तेका कोरोना जाल्लो न्हू
हय.
एकूय दीस मदीं वचोंक पावना
सारकें.
आयज वोटिंगाचो दीस आसा
हय.
मातशी चेडवाची खबर घेवन येवया न्हू
या म्हणटा तू
हय या
या,
या
या.
आसा गे कोण घरान
कितें जालें
साखर इल्ली जाय आसली साखर आणि हांव चेडवागेर येता खबरेक
हय, आमी वयता आमकां
हय.
वगत जाता
चेडवागेर वयता
हय.
तुका खबर ना
कितें?
आयज वोटिंगाचो दीस म्हणून आज तुमका भोंवपाक दिला हा वोटिंग करपाक चला तुमका हेच सांगपाक जाय म्हणून येल्ले साखरीच्या निमित्तान
आवूय
आज माझ्या चेडवाक 18 वर्सां लागली
हा.
त्याचो आज पयलो वोट हक्काचो तेका हांव घेवन वोटिंगाक वयता आणि तुम्ही बी चला पयली मागीर चला मिरामार पिकनिकेक चेडवागेर
बरं बरं
वचा बरें न्हू वचा
वयता, आतां
तुम्ही
चल.
सुद्धा वचा राव नाका घरान
हय,
मागीर
हय.
करा पिकनिक
येता बाय कितें कर मुगो आतां
हय.
आमची इलेक्शनां कार्डां काड
हय.
आनी बीएलओन दिल्या ते स्लिपी घे
आ घेता
आतां ते
घेता
हांव रोखडोच येता बाजारान वचून
बरें बरें हांव बिग्गेन सोदून दवरता वोटिंगाचे ए नुस्तें जाय कोणाक नुस्तें जाय ताजे ताजे बांगडे हाडले हांवें नुस्तेकारा सगळ्यान मुंडन सगळे सादारी बाटली घेवन भोंवता हांव नुस्तेकारारी फुलां जाय गे फुलां फुलां जाय फुलां फुलां जाय फुलो काटा रोका सबका कहना रे 1000 रुपये माझी फुलां है ला 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 चूड़ियां ले लो चूड़ियां मेरे खाते में हरी भरी चूड़ियां है जरा ठहरो लोगों को भी आने दो चूड़ियां ले लो चूड़ियां हरी भरी चूड़ियां रंग बिरंगी चूड़ियां ए काकड़ा खात आज वोटिंगेक वचोंक ना गे वोटिंगेचो दीस मगो वोटिंगेक हय म्हाका कितें हे दिला वोटिंगेक वचोंक हय बाये हांवें केन्नाच वोट मारूंक ना कितें वोट करतले कोण यो कोण वचो आमकां कित्याक पडला हय काय न्हू आमी जोडपाचे आमचे पोट भरपाचे हय काय न्हू सकाळच आवय बाय हे बाय बांगडो ताजो अशा बांगडो बांगडो
कशी दिले
50
50 2
हय
12 दी घेता हांव नाजाल्यार चल्ले
बाय वळता गो
हांव वोट मारपाक वयता म्हाजो पयलो वोट
इसको दिया होगा अच्छा से इसलिए जा रही है वोट करने को
म्हाका काय दिवंक ना हो म्हाजो हक हांव भितर पयशे घे वयता म्हाका पयशे बिशे नाका
बरेशे वोट पैसे गेला कोण वोट करता तर
वोट बनवता गो
हय किदा
पातळ घालला घे मग पैसे
ना 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 म्हाका पैशाचे वोट
कोण बसला रे
माझा पातळ घालला पैसे नाही घे
अरे
पैसे.
आगे कितें गे तू थोड्याशा पयशांक लागून तुजो वोट विकूंक वयता हा
ना रे बाबा पैशाची मातशी गरज
पैशाची गरज आसूं घे आगे तुका खबर आसा ही केदी व्हडली जबाबदारी दिल्या आमकां सरकारान हा नेता निवडूंक हा आनी तूं असो थोड्याशा पयशांक विकून कित्याक काडटा तुजो वोट आगे सगळ्यांनी मेळोन आमी बरे भाशेन कसले आशेक पडनासतना वोटींग करूंक जाय जाल्यारूच आमकां बरो सरकार मेळटलो
केन्नाच वोट करूंक ना रे
असले करूं नाका कारण आमकां बरो सरकार निवडून हाडपाक जावो म्हणून आमी सगळ्यांनी न चुकता भायर सरोंक जाय आनी वोट करूंक जाय कितें करूंक जाय
वोट करूंक जाय
बरोबर बरो सरकार हाडया वोट करुया
ही म्हाजी पयलो वोट
हय
सो म्हाका खबर ना ती कशी करपाचे
खबर ना तुका हा एक पळय आमच्या इलेक्शन कमिशनरान एक ऍप काडलेलो आसा वोटर्स हेल्पलायन ऍप पळय सगळ्यांक दाखयता वोटर्स हेल्पलायन ऍप हे ऍपाचेर तुमी डावनलोड करा हो ऍप मोबायलाचेर आनी तुमकां सगळी म्हायती मेळटली वोटिंगा बद्दल तशेंच एक हेल्पलायन नंबर आसा 1950 ह्या नंबराचेर डायल करा वोटिंगा बद्दल तुमकां सगळी म्हायती मेळटली
बाबा एक विचारता रे
हय
लोक सांगता खंय हांवें वोट मारलो न्हू तो सगळ्यांक कळटा खंय खरी गजाली
आगे ह्यो अफवा ईव्हीएम मशिनाचेर जो वोट करता तो कोणाकूच कळना हा ह्यो तुमकां भेकडोवपाचें कारण कोणाकूच भियेनासतना
हे सारकें रे.
सगळीं भायर सरा आनी सगळीं वोट करया
बरें
सांगलें
रे बाबा
चला
आयज
आता.
तू या बाजारान येयलो आमच्या सारखे नुस्तेकारांक भाजयेकारांक खंय खबर आसा आयज या बाबान सांगले म्हणून आमकां आयज कळ्ळें ही माहिती काय भियेनासतना आमी वोट करूंक वयतली
काय बिनासतना कसली आस दवरी नासतना
हय, चल
वोट करया
करया.
चलया आता.
चला बाबांनो, चला बहिणीनो, चला बाबांनो, चला बहिणीनो, चलया बुतारू, चलया बुतारू. वोट मारून निवडून हाडया आमचं सरकारू. वोट मारून निवडून हाडया आमचं सरकारू. चला बाबांनो, चला बहिणीनो, चला बाबांनो, चला बहिणीनो, चलया बुतारू, चलया बुतारू, चलया बुतारू, चलया बुतारू.
हे आशिल्ले आमचे कलाकार प्रदीप साळगांवकार कलाकार ग्रुपांतले एक खोशयेची आनी उमेदीची गजाल फाल्यां 26 जानेवारी प्रजासत्ताक दिन फाल्यां 26 जानेवारी ते 12 फेब्रुवारी म्हणसर फिल्ड आउटरीच ब्युरोचे आर्टिस्ट हे कलाकार सगळ्या 50 जाग्यांनी वचून वोटर अवेअरनेसचे प्रोग्राम करतले हांव मागता सगळ्यां कडेन तांची उर्बा वाडोवपा खातीर एक ताळी आमच्या ह्या कलाकारांक. आमकां उलोवपाक कळटा आमकां मन आसा आमकां सगळें समजता आमकां वाचपाक कळटा आमकां चलपाक कळटा आमचे कडेन मन आसा आमचे कडेन सगळ्या प्रकारच्यो संवेदना आसा वी हॅव डिफिकल्टी इन स्पीकिंग इन रिडींग मायट बी इन वॉकिंग बट डोंट मेक द मिस्टेक इन अंडरस्टँडींग अस वी बिलीव इन आवर एबिलिटी वी विल नॉट गिव अप वोटिंग वी हॅव रायट टू वोट अँड वी विल वोट a heart-touching message we must listen through this audio. I request Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai to launch this audio by pressing the remote button.
चलपाक वाचपाक पोवपाक उलोवपाक जरी आयल्या आडमेळी कोणी समजचे न्हय आमकां कमी कोणी समजचे न्हय आमकां कमी
विश्वास आमकां आमच्या कुवतीचेर आमी मतदान सोडचें ना
मतदानाचो हक्क आमचो आमी वगडोवचे ना लोकशाय घडयता फुडार बरयता देश फुडें हो व्हरता लोकशाय घडयता फुडार बरयता देश फुडें हो व्हरता मतदानाचो उत्सव हो आमी व्हडा उमेदीन मनयता मतदानाचो उत्सव हो आमी व्हडा उमेदीन मनयता दिव्यांग दिव्यांग आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग 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 आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग 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 आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग.
आमी गोंयचे दिव्यांग गीत रचना सुदेश गावडे हांची आशिल्ली सॉंग वॉज कंपोज बाय श्री प्रवीण जे गावस ह्या गिता खातीर सुंदर ताळो दिल्लो बिंदिया वस्त नायक आनी श्री प्रवीण जे गावस म्युझिक अरेंजमेंट दौलत पालयेकर सगळ्यां कडेन मागता आमच्या कलाकाराक एक उर्बे भरीत ताळी. We also have the privilege to announce that for the first time in the state of Goa, the third gender has been enrolled in the voters list. 2 camps to enroll the transgender were conducted, one during summary revision and one during continuous updatation. In the result that now we have 7 transgenders registers in South Goa district and 2 transgender voters in North Goa district. We believe that it is a step in ensuring inclusive election and no voter is left behind. Let's see video prepared by DEO South Goa on the enrollment camp for transgender.
हमारा मत हमारा अधिकार, आते इलेक्शन में हमारा मतदान.
We are happy to place before you another video on accessible initiatives undertaken by CEO office as a part of accessible election.
मतदारा जाणून घे तुझा अधिकार, मतमोलाचे तुझे वगडाऊ नका. हे मतदारा जाणून घे तुझा अधिकार, मतमोलाचे तुझे वगडाऊ नका. करे तुझो पुढार, राब तुझो बहुमान, उमेदीन घडवूया आम्ही आमची लोकशाही. हे मतदारा जाणून घे तुझो अधिकार,
Honorable Election Commissioner Silva has taken a lot of initiatives like absentee voters to person with disability. So what we are doing is we are showcasing the world that look, the ability is far more than disability.
The non-classification, non-ranking para-table tennis tournament in standing and wheelchair category was held at Multipurpose Indoor Stadium, SAG, Kampal.
Before to come to an end this performance scenario, may I request our artist Samiksha Bhobeka Kodkar to present before you in melodious tunes.
Hello.
Hello. Namaskaram to our beloved, respected, honorable Governor Sir and Madam, and welcome one of you. I'm going to present a song, Mat Maruya. I hope you like it.
I
पयली वेंचणूक गोंयकारांनो भायर आमी सरुया लोकशायेचो सण मनोवपाक भायर आमी सरुया मतदानाचो हक्क वापरून लोकशाय घट्ट करुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया गोंयचो फुडार घडोवया गोंयचो फुडार घडोवया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया गोंयची उदरगत करपाक भायर आमी सरुया गोंयची उदरगत करपाक भायर आमी सरुया मोलादीक मत मारून गोंय घडोवया मोलादीक मत मारून गोंय घडोवया जाणटे आनी तरणाट्यांनो भायर आमी सरुया मास्क वापरून मतदानाक भायर आमी सरुया 100% मतदानाची मोख रे गाठुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया गोंयचो फुडार घडोवया गोंयचो फुडार घडोवया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया मत मारुया रे मत मारुया थँक्यू
Chief Electoral Officer Goa, in association with the District Election Officer South Goa, welcome Chief Guest of today's ceremony, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa. Guest of Honor, Shri Puneet G. Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa. Special invitee of today's function, Shri W.V. Ramanamurthy, IAS, Retired State Election Commissioner of Goa. I request Shri Kunal IAS, Chief Electoral Officer, and Madam Ruchika Katyal, District Election Officer, to escort the dignitaries on the dais. I take this opportunity to request Sri Kunal, IAS Chief Electoral Officer, to present fruit basket and a flower pot to the chief guest of today's ceremony, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa. Thank you, sir. May I request Ma'am Ruchika Katyal, District Election Officer, to welcome guest of honor, Shri Puneet G. Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, with fruit basket and flower pot. I again request Shri Kunal, IAS Chief Electoral Officer, to present fruit basket and flower pot to special invitee of today's function, Shri W.V. Ramanamurthy, IAS Retired State Election Commissioner, Goa. I request Siddhi to welcome Shri Kunal IAS, Chief Electoral Officer. Also, I request Siddhi to welcome DEO, Ma'am Ruchika Katyal. उजवाड आमकां आत्मनिर्भरतेचो एक संदेश दिता. आमी सदांच म्हणटा काळखांतल्यान आमी उजवाडा कडेन या. तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय. एक असो दिव्य संदेश जेन्ना दिवलेंतली वात पेट्टा आनी एक परजळीत फुडाराचें लखलखीतपण आमकां दिसता. Light symbolizes knowledge and darkness, ignorance. Knowledge removes ignorance just as light removes darkness. Also, Knowledge is lasting inner wealth by which all outer achievement can be accomplished. I request Chief Guest of today's ceremony, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa, to light the traditional lamp. With a single deepam, we can light many more lights. But the original lamp does not diminish when helping to light others. This shows that our knowledge does not decrease when we share it with others. The clarity and conviction increase on giving, and so the giver and receiver are both benefited. A better, more beautiful explanation for lighting a deepam cannot be given. Deepa Jyoti Parabrahma. Now I request Chief Electoral Officer Shri Kunal IAS to present welcome address. But before that, Shri Kunal IAS joined Government of Goa in 2015 as Secretary. He has been part of many election processes in the state of Goa. Both the Lok Sabha election 2019 and Goa Legislative Assembly election in 2017 were smoothly conducted in the state of Goa. We welcome and I request Chief Electoral Officer Shri Kunal IAS to present welcome address.
Thank you. Honorable Governor of Goa, sir. Honorable Chief Secretary, sir. Honorable State Election Commissioner, sir. Here, Chairperson, Goa State Pollution Control Board. My dear colleague, District Election Officer, South Goa. Dear colleague, SP South Goa, Additional CEO, and all the officers, dignitaries, and all the guests present here. A very happy National Voters' Day to all of you. Friends, we are celebrating 12th National Voters' Day amidst the ongoing Goa Assembly elections 2022. It's a time that we realize the value of voting and the role each one of us play in successful and functional democracy of India. Each vote matters. This is the real theme of this election, and in pursuance to directions of Honorable Election Commission of India, we are committed to make this election participative, accessible, and festive for all of the voters. Friends, in this election, we had carried out a lot of initiative. In pursuance to directions of COVID-safe voting, we have increased the number of polling stations substantially, and our average number of voters at the polling stations now stand only 672. That gives a safety cushion for everyone to come and cast their vote in a very safe manner. And we have spread out the polling stations also within the premises. And we have selected lot many premises than earlier. So this election is going to be completely different, and with the support of Honorable Chief Secretary, Honorable Principal Secretary Financer, that Public Works Department and Goa Infrastructure Development Corporation, they have upgraded the polling stations substantially. Now these are more accessible, having better facilities and more amenities for all the voters. Similarly, on other fronts, we have carried out lot of initiative in the SWIFT front to make the voter aware about their rights and their privileges and also the duties. Especially now, the Model Code of Conduct is in force, the campaigning is going on, and citizens have to play a very major role in ensuring that the level playing field is maintained. And as you know, there is already C-Vigil app, which is in the public domain, and our flying squad teams are in the ground 24-hour. Right now, at present, 81 flying squad teams are there all over Goa, and they are constantly on alert to see if any malpractice is taking place. We are committed to ensure a level playing field by controlling the use of muscle power, money power, or any kind of nuisance value. Similarly, this year is the first time Honorable Election Commission has launched a Know Your Candidate app, by which all the details of the candidates will be available at the fingertip. This is in the direction of making the voter aware about their candidates. Similarly, this time, all the political parties and candidates, they are going to publish the criminal antecedents of all the candidates. So this is going to be a major landmark in ensuring transparency and ensuring an informed voting by all the voters. At the state level, we had launched numerous initiatives like environmentally safe, eco-friendly voting, in which we are trying to use locally made products which are derived from the eco-friendly materials, and we are replacing plastic materials with those. Like, we are using bamboo-made baskets, we are using bamboo-made trays, we are using bamboo and coconut shell-made paper trays and other things. Similarly, we are also trying to utilize eco-friendly material in our voter awareness exercise. All of you must have seen that outside, selfie boards have been made by our electoral literacy clubs with the help of eco-friendly material. So friends, election is a time where everyone must participate, and this is the time when you realize the voting value and your contribution to the society by exercising this choice in a rational, informed manner. Once again, I wish you a happy National Voters' Day. Please utilize your right to vote on 14th February 2022, and only then go out with your loved ones. Thank you. Happy National Voters' Day.
Thank you, sir. May I request Siddhi to present flower basket and the flower pot, fruit basket and the flower pot to the guest of honor, Shri Puneetji Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa. थैंक यू। भारत में राष्ट्रीय मतदाता दिवस आज मनाया जाता है 25 जनवरी। यह इसके पीछे यह उद्देश्य है कि निर्वाचन आयोग का ये एक उद्देश्य था कि देश भर के सभी मतदान केंद्र में और सभी मतदाताओं को एक पहचान दी जाएगी। जी हाँ, कि प्रत्येक वर्ष उन सभी पात्र मतदाता की भी पहचान की जाती है और जिनकी उम्र आज 1 जनवरी को 18 साल पूरी हो जाती है। मतदाताओं के नाम मतदाता सूची में दर्ज किए जाते हैं और उन्हें निर्वाचन फोटो पहचान पत्र भी सौंप दिए जाते हैं। आइए हम सब साथ मिलकर एक शपथ ले लेते हैं। आई रिक्वेस्ट दीपाली नायक, नोडल ऑफिसर, स्वीप साउथ, टू डू द ऑनर।
गुड मॉर्निंग डिग्निटरीज ऑन द डेज, स्क्रोल जरा ओपन कर लीजिए। Please stand up and put up your right hand up and repeat after me. We, the citizens of India, having abiding faith in democracy, hereby pledge to uphold the
democratic traditions of our country, and the dignity of free, fair, and peaceful elections, and to vote in every election fearlessly and without being influenced by consideration of religion, race, caste, community, language, or any inducement. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. As a part of eco-friendly initiative, may I request Honorable Governor to launch the Nitar Goin Nitar Vote Bag. May I also request Mr. Mahesh Patil, Chairperson of Goa Pollution Control Board, and Dr. Pradeep to be here on the stage. That is the eco-friendly initiative, launching of Nitar Goin Nitar Vote Bag. Thank you, sir. Office of CEO and DEO South Goa had organized many competitions such as film competition, slogan writing, song composition, selfie contest, etc. I request Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor of Goa, to felicitate the awardees. Pranali Naik. May I request Pranali Naik to be here on the stage? First, we go for the felicitation of the first-time voters and special voters is the most important part of the NVD. And I request esteemed dignitaries on dais to do the honor. May I request Governor Sir to do the honor to felicitate our voters. Pranali Naik of 26 Dabolim Assembly Constituency. Riela Rodriguez of 30 Fatoda Assembly Constituency. Eggy Travaso, person with disability of 30 Fatoda Assembly Constituency. Marina Javed Sahibole of 31 Margaon Assembly Constituency. May I request Marina Javed Sahibole. May I request Chief Secretary, Acting Chief Secretary, Shri Puneet Kumar Goelji to do the honor. Shalini Tukoba Redkar, Fatoda Assembly Constituency. May I request Shalini? Monica Das of 31 Margaon Assembly Constituency. Hina Umar Sahibi Bole, Margaon Assembly Constituency. May I request State Election Commissioner to do the next honor? Mayur Naik of 31, Margaon Assembly Constituency. Dhanyata Naik of 31, Margaon Assembly Constituency. Zareen Umar of 31, Margaon Assembly Constituency. Here we go for the next Best Performing Assembly Constituency. May I request Governor Sir to do the honor? Best Performing Assembly Constituency, 38 Savardem. Best Electoral Registration Office. May I request Shri Gurudas Desai, Deputy Collector, to be here on the stage to accept the honor. Shri Gurudas S.T. Desai. Best Electoral Registration Office. Best Assistant Electoral Registration Office. May I request Shri Praveen Gawas, Joint Mamalidar, Salsit and AERO for 31 Margaon Assembly Constituency to accept the honor. Best Assistant Electoral Registration Office. Today we honor Ms. Josephine Fernandez for providing special services in sign language interpretation. Ms. Josephine Fernandez. Dr. Alaknanda Shringare, KABP Survey on Voters' Behavior and Perception in Goa. Dr. Alaknanda Shringare. That was the encouragement of sex workers and transgenders in electors' enrollment. May I request Nyay Rahit Zindagi ARZ to accept the honor? Next awardee will be selfie stand competition. First place goes to Goa College of Engineering. Selfie stand competition first place goes to Goa College of Engineering. Our next awardee, Best Divyang Mitra, Vishal Jalmi. बेस्ट दिव्यांग मित्र विशाल जलमी. We call upon Chairman of Goa State Pollution Control Board, Mr. Mahesh Patil. The theme of Election Commission is Green Initiative, and in order to contribute to said initiative, Biodiversity Board has launched a eco-friendly cloth bag, which will be distributed at free of cost. We would like to request all our icons, Tapan Acharya, Sonia Sirsat, Taha Haziq, and Shri Damodar Mauzo to be here on the stage to accept the honor. सोनिया सिरसाट, गोयची फादू गायिका, ताळयांनी तांकां येवकार. ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्काराचो आमकां मान रवींद्र केळेकार हांणी मेळोवन दिलोच, पूण परत एकदां आमकां मान मेळोवन दिवपी गोंयचे साहित्यीक श्री दामोदर मावजो, भाई मावजो. I would like to invite Dr. Sharad Sinha and team, development of Voter Dost, a chatbot on Telegram app. Dr. Sharad Sinha and team. Team of One Assembly Constituency Mandre for encouraging maximum participation of electorals under EVM VVPAT demonstration. If the team of One Assembly Constituency of Mandrem is present in the auditorium, I take this opportunity to invite you here on the stage. May I now request Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, Shri Puneet Kumarji, to do the honor. Best Booth Level Officer 1, Shri Ankush Shirodkar, BLO of Part Number 2, 18 Porye. Best Booth Level Officer 2, Shri Bhanudas Gaonkar, Kudewada, Kankon. Best Performing Electoral Literacy Club, Shri Ismail Sheikh Sarad, Kudsade. हांव सगळ्यांची नांवां घेता जे कोण सभाघरांत जर आसात जाल्यार हांगा स्टेजीचेर येवचे. बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग इलेक्ट्रल लिटरसी क्लब 2, अंजेला de Menezes, होली फॅमिली हायस्कूल पोरवोरी. स्लोगन रायटिंग कॉम्पिटिशन, Best Performing Electoral Literacy Club 1, Shri Ismail Sheikh Sarad. Best Performing Electoral Literacy Club 2, Angela de Menezes. CEO and DEO had organized some competition. In that slogan writing competition, first place goes to Roshni Shirodkar. And the song composition competition, first place goes to Shri Gopal Ganapati Pangad. Selfie contest first place, Akshay Amrut Valvaikar. May I now request State Election Commissioner to hand over the honors. Short film competition, best film, the first place goes to Uttar Daitva. May I request the winner to be here on the stage? Thank you. Short film competition, best film, first place goes to Uttar Daitva. Short film competition, best director, first place goes to Prasad M. Naik for the film, again, Uttar Daitva. And I think short film competition, best story, first place goes to, again, Prasad M. Naik for the film Uttar Daitva. सगळ्यांकडे मागता उत्तर दायित्वा खातीर आमच्या विनरांक ताळी दिवची. Short film competition, best actor, male, first place goes to Rajiv Hede for the film The Gambit. I'm also happy to announce short film competition, best actress, first place goes to Purti Savardekar for the film Your Choice, Your Vote. Slogan coding competition, first place goes to Master Daksh Deepak Naik. Epic Reel contest, first place goes to Aditi Sathi. Thank you, sir. I request all the esteemed dignitaries to be seated. I'm privileged to introduce before you the gathering guest of honor of today's function, Shri Puneet Ji Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa. Shri Puneet Kumar Goyal, our Principal Secretary for Finance and Chief Secretary to be designated. You are BTech in Electrical Engineering, IIT Kanpur, MTech in Power Systems, IIT Delhi, MBA in Finance, MS in Computer Networking, University of Southern California, and done research in renewable energy at IIT Delhi. May I request you, sir, guest of honor, Shri Puneet Ji Goyal, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, to mark the gathering with your address.
Honorable Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pilleji, State Election Commissioner of Goa, Shri W.V. Ramnamurthy ji, Chief Electoral Officer of Goa, Shri Kunal, District Collector, South Goa, Shrimati Ruchika Katyal, representative of various political parties, civil services organizations, various award winners, media representatives, and other invitees. I extend my best wishes to all present on the occasion of National Voters' Day. We are the world's largest democracy, and we all are very much aware of the fact that election has always been the turning point in the history of any democratic country. It is only by the conduct of free, fair, and participative elections that our democracy has become the most vibrant in the world. We all know this day was first celebrated in 2011 to encourage young voters to take part in the electoral process. And this year, we are celebrating 12th National Voters' Day. Several people over the legal age of voting in our country are not even aware of their voting rights due to lack of education. Therefore, we celebrate this day with the only motive of spreading awareness among people about voting and selecting a representative of their own. National Voters' Day is celebrated with a particular theme and to promote the electoral process among newly eligible young voters. The theme of this year is electoral literacy for a strong democracy. In Goa, out of 11.4 lakh voters, 26,239 voters are between the age of 18 and 19 years, whom we call the new voters. I am sure through today's program and the effort of all the artists, we have been effectively conveyed to all the voters to come out and vote on 14th February 2022 and use their democratic rights on that day. Today is also the foundation day of the Election Commission of India. On this occasion, we should also compliment the Election Commission for their various initiatives to educate the masses about the importance of voting. The Election Commission of India deserves our appreciation for delivering a system that ensures transparent, free, and fair elections to every citizen of this country. I urge all the eligible voters to cast their vote to the suitable candidate help in the process of strengthening democracy on 14th February 2022. Finally, I would like to compliment CEO Goa and DO South Goa for organizing today's program. Thank you.
14 फेब्रुवारी 2022 इलेक्शन लागीं पावत आसा. आमी वदळच्यान म्हणटात आमचे जे आमी मतदान करतले ते कसल्याच दबावा विणा, कसल्याच हुस्क्या विणा, कोणाकूच आमी बळी पडचे ना, कसल्याच पयशांक आमी आहारी वचचे ना. आमकां वेंचून काडपाक जाय एक पकदस्त असो नेतो, एक आमचो लिडर जो आमच्यो कठिणा ज्यो कितें प्रॉब्लम्स आसतले जावं जे आमकां कितें आडमेळी येतली ताका पयस करपी आमकां असो एक नेतो जाय. हय, खऱ्यांनीच हो अधिकार आमकां हो हक्क मांडपाकूच जाय आनी आमकां हो हक्क बजावपाकूच जाय. Today's ceremony is blessed by the presence of Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Government of Goa. Shri Sridharan Pillai is a successful lawyer, a former politician, an organizer par excellence, an orator, a prolific writer, a philanthropist, and a thinker. A bilingual author, Shri Pillai writes both in English and his mother tongue, Malayalam, with ease and dexterity on topics close to his heart, such as politics, social and legal issue, and poetry. So far, he has written more than 130 books, including 15 poetry collections in Malayalam and English. I now request Chief Guest of today's ceremony, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor, Government of Goa.
Honorable Acting Chief Secretary Puneet Goyalji, State Election Commissioner of Goa, W.V. Raman Murthy ji, Sri Chief Electoral Officer Sri Kunal ji and his team of officers, Srimati Vijaya Katyal, Collector of South Goa and her team of officers, distinguished guests, and my dear friends. I'm very happy to be amidst all of you on the 12th National Voters Day, which is being observed every year since 2011 to commemorate the foundation of the Election Commission of India. This is indeed a celebration of the festival of democracy in our country. Our country is known as the largest democracy in the world, not only because our constitution is the biggest one in the world, but the election system followed by us, and due to that process, we proved ourselves as the vibrant democracy in the world. I am remembering in 1977 elections, you see, 1975, June 26th onwards, there was democratic restrictions introduced in our country, and it was all opposition leaders were put in jail, and during that period of emergency, 1977 election declared. There was a total that restriction on press also was there, but the people of this country rose to the occasion and proved themselves that even all publicity materials, everything was in favor of a particular political system which is prevailing in the country, and the oppositions are denied all the rights, and press censorship was there. Even fundamental rights we can question in our courts. In such a situation, the ordinary people of, especially of 10 cow states, it is known as cow states, they rose to the occasion, and that is why we reintroduced our democracy in India. Then Washington Post at that time stated that we consider Indian people as more than half of the population are illiterate, and people are not having knowledge with respect to various aspects. We consider them, but now we proved that in the world it is proved that that illiterate people are the best protectors of democracy, and that is why our country is known as the vibrant democracy in the world. In this day, observing we are National Voters Day, I would like to say that one of the important points of achievements in that aspect is because of our election system. Election system, of course, independently, impartially, without any commitment to the any political party, they were doing, and that is why we are now in the position of holding that we are one of the best democracies in the world. Electoral literacy for stronger democracy is a popular phrase. In this regard, I would like to go back to the debates in the Constituent Assembly over issues of whether franchise should be a fundamental right and whether it should be a universal one. Dr. Ambedkar's effort to endorse franchise as a fundamental right was unsuccessful at one stage. The members who argued against adopting universal adult franchise were primarily worried about the lack of education and awareness amongst the people at that time. The proponents for the motion awared to uphold the sovereignty and supremacy of the people. Eventually, universal adult franchise came into be concorded in Article 326 of the Constitution of India. In the words of Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, we all know one of the best lawyers ever seen by our country, and a highly respected person, who was the member of the Constitutional Assembly and Drafting Committee, I quote, "The Assembly deserves to be congratulated on adopting the principle of adult suffrage, and it may be stated that never before in the history of the world has such an experimental been so boldly undertaken." So this is the importance of this adult franchise introduced by our country. In 1952, before the general election, you see, in 1952, the press people asked a question to Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Jawaharlal Nehru ji. You see, in our country, at that time, about 60% of the people are illiterate. They are not in a position to write their names, read anything. Such condition, majority of the people are under such condition. Then posed the question before Nehruji that how you are going to succeed in your attempt. Illiterate people, they are becoming the judges. Every 5th year there was an election. In the election, through the ballot, the supremacy of our people will be reflected. And in that process, how these people, those who are not even writing or reading, illiterate people, how they can decide the fate of the country. Then Nehruji replied to the effect that, yes, political parties are there, press people are there, and it is a basic duty of the politicians to educate the masses. They will have to educate. So people are supreme and they are the masters of the country, and we will have to educate. What extent political parties are doing is a question mark. I don't want to go to that. The question is whether the obligation on the part of the political parties have been fulfilled or not. The fact that Election Commission of India is laying so much of emphasis on voter education programs even today indicates that we still have a long way to go to have a 100% literate elected. The basis of democracy is right to differ. Right to differ is the basic concept regarding the democracy. I would like to say one aspect within my limited knowledge that in 1952 onwards, you see parliament elections, more than 50% of the total votes polled in favor of a government was not seen in our country. Less than 50% of the votes totally polled in favor of a political party or a political group. They are holding the power. I am not finding fault with anybody, but one important thing has to be seen from that aspect is that about 50% of the population, of course rulers are one side and other side are not in favor of the government. So that is why in our system we are strictly following a right to differ is the basis of our democracy. If my knowledge is correct, in Indian parliamentary elections since 1952, at no stage has the ruling party won more than 50% of the total votes. According to my information, only in 1984, 49% votes polled in favor of the Prime Minister at that time. Even with a huge majority in the parliament, ruling parties have fallen below the halfway mark. This can be interpreted to mean that the electorate in our country have given the opposition an equally important role to play, and our democracy is a rival-oriented political system. I am happy to know that the Chief Electoral Officer and his team have done remarkable work to ensure that all the eligible voters are being enrolled. This time, special summary revision has been undertaken in view of the Assembly election scheduled next month on 14/2/2022, and I am happy to know that 17,250 new voters have been enrolled in Goa. This year I am told that the theme is to make election inclusive, accessible and participative. In this regard, I am happy to note that transgenders have been enrolled in the electoral roll. Postal ballot facility has been provided for the voters above 80 years of age and also to be people with a disability. Further, braille guides, people with a disability, medical camps, transgender camps, and all polling stations with the assured minimum facilities are some of the notable features that will mark the assembly elections this year. I congratulate the Chief Electoral Officer and his team of officers for having done excellent work to make election accessible and participative. I'm also happy to know that the flagship program of Election Commission of India, SWEEP, and has been implemented with the great zeal, and several programs relating to voter education, spreading voter awareness, promoting voter literacy in India have been carried out. It is also heartening to note that the election machinery has kept pace with the latest technological developments and has designed several IT applications such as Ronet, Civil, Sudiba app, chatbot system, voter helpline, etc., to make the election process during pre-election, in election, and post-election phases effective, efficient, and accessible. As far as Rajabhavan is also concerned, before the declaration of the election, I would like to say with happy that all the files pending from the governmental side, from the university side, and of course from some other referred matters, all are disposed by Rajabhavan. And one lacuna on the part of our system is that the against corruption and other things, an organization is set up in our state as well, but 5 of such matters refer to governor under section 16(2) of the Act. Then I found that it is referred to governor, but as per the Act, there is no further steps are stipulated in the Act. I am aware of the fact that the Supreme Court, in one of its important judgments, stated that if it is not stated in clear terms, governor has no authority to do that. So 5 last appeals I have referred by our system has been dismissed on this technical ground patiently. So I would like to say the new government will come and think about all these things and against corruption and other things of the system, whether it is effectively working. For that purpose, all political parties may think about it. That is my request at this time. I congratulate all the winning of all important best winners, and they were awarded with certificates and other things, and I am extending my best wishes to them. In conclusion, I would like to once again quote Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, who highlighted that India, quote, adopted the principle of adult franchise with an abundant faith in the common men and the ultimate success of democratic rule, quote ends. On this day, let us uphold the faith endowed by the makers of our Constitution in all of us to be vigilant and responsible citizens and exercise our franchise in a free, fearless, and ethical manner. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Governor Sir, for your message at this hour on this occasion, National Voters' Day. आमचे थोडे अवॉर्डी हांगा सभाघरांत बशिल्ले आसा, तांचो सन्मान करपाचो वेळ आतां पावला. मे आय रिक्वेस्ट guest of honor of today's function, Shri Puneet Kumar Goyalji, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, to do the honor for our awardees. Best Electoral Registration Office, may I request Rochelle Fernandez, Uday Prabhudesai, आम्ही फुडें वतात. बेस्ट असिस्टंट इलेक्टरल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिस, विमोद दलाल. सभाघरांत आसा जाल्यार उपकार करून येवचे. May I request guest of honor, Shri Puneet Kumar Goel, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa, to do the honor. Vimod Dalal, Mamletdar, बेस्ट असिस्टंट इलेक्ट्रल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिस म्हणून आज ते सन्मान स्वीकारतात. फुडले आमचे एवॉर्डी आसात प्राणविजय पंडित. प्राणविजय पंडित. प्रवीणजय पंडित. देवना एल्सा पेरेरा. सभाघरांत आसा जाल्यार माचयेर येवचें. फुडल्या एवॉर्डीचें हांव नांव घेतां. बेस्ट बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर जोआंव आल्मेदा. तुमी सभाघरांत आसा जाल्यार माचयेर येवचें. अरुणा फर्नांडीस. Best Booth Level Officer, Best Performing Electoral Literacy Club, Shubhangi Kamurlekar, Shri Keshav Smriti Higher Secondary School, Daburi. आणि शेवटाक नॉर्थ डिस्ट्रिक्ट बेस्ट AERO राजाराम परब. राजाराम परब. Thank you, sir. Requesting now Shri Kunal IAS, Chief Electoral Officer, to present mementos to the dignitaries on the stage. Chief guest of today's ceremony, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Honorable Governor, Government of Goa. Guest of honor of today's ceremony, Shri Puneet Kumar Goel ji, Acting Chief Secretary, Government of Goa. And the special invitee of today's ceremony, Shri W.V. Ramanamurthy. Thank you, sir. Now I request Madam Ruchika Katyal, District Election Officer, DEO, to propose vote of thanks. But before vote of thanks, I take this opportunity to introduce Ruchika Katyal, District Election Officer. Ruchika Katyal is an IAS officer of the batch of 2013 of the AGMUT cadre. Madam has earlier served in Arunachal Pradesh and Delhi. She joined Goa government a year ago as Collector and District Election Officer, South Goa. May I request ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure in proposing the vote of thanks for what has been a very vibrant National Voters' Day celebrations. First and foremost, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to the Honorable Governor for having graciously consented to be the chief guest. I would also like to thank worthy Chief Secretary and State Election Commissioner of Goa and all dignitaries present for gracing the occasion on this important day. A special word of praise and congratulations to all the awardees, first-time voters and participants. The state icons, district icons, and our election team and BLOs deserve a special mention for staging today's musical preparation and skits. I thank the media for covering this Voters' Day celebration to carry the message to the public at large. The officials of CO's office and DO's office have strived hard to make the celebrations a memorable one. Finally, I would like to thank everyone and end by saying that National Voters' Day is also an occasion to be grateful regarding the one man, one vote principle, the right that has been given to us, for which other countries, other leaders have toiled in jail for years. Thank you all once again. Dev Bare Karu.
राष्ट्रगीताक सगळ्यांनी उबे रावचे.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की भारत माता की भारत माता की
जय.